working with like more of a similar age, does that prove to be a challenge at times? I mean,
that's a very
could it
good
be
question actually. So some people's concern about joining startup is, especially if you're a lot more mature in your career,
Yeah.
you fear that you're not getting the established mentorship.
Yeah.
Like those guys who are in the bank, say for 20 years, they have 20 years of knowledge to share. And that is sometimes what people worry about joining a tech company, a startup, these kind of unicorns or startups, is you miss that best practice school of thought from your more experienced managers. But interestingly, because in startups of the way it works, you actually realize your learning is not just upwards, you're learning 360.
Oh.
So you're actually learning, you're learning from your manager, obviously. You learn from your peers.
Yeah.
You learn from sometimes the ones who report to you as well. Because everybody actually who joins these companies are from very diverse backgrounds. They have their own specialized knowledge in the field. So if you work with a designer, they are expertise in design. If you work with a data scientist, they are expertise in data and all that.
Yeah.
So you actually learn multi-discipline from these guys.
Okay.
Like it can be your manager, it can be your manager's peer, so it's diagonal. It can be your sometimes I learn from, so I don't have anyone reporting to me, but sometimes I do. I think my manager also learns some stuff that I have gotten from my other experiences as well.
Yeah.
So you actually get that 360 experience.
Okay, that's
learning experience.
Yeah, that's
which
nice.
is actually isn't as bad as what some people are worried about if they join these companies. Maybe you can share your graph. Is it the same there as well?
I think it is. Now that you mentioned about it, I don't really. Yeah, now that you mentioned about it, it is a very mutual learning.
Yeah,
right?
It's you're figuring your way as you go, right?
As you go, because even my manager and all will also still be figuring it out.
Yes,
and also because of how dynamic the company is that people change roles pretty often.
Correct. Yeah. That's also another one.
So when they are put into a new role or new hat, they need to adapt, and they're in a constant learning.
Correct.
Of the teams that they're trying to manage, of the teams of their colleagues as well. And so I find that the dynamic creates a very nice 360 learning experience where I'm not just like trying to learn from you one way. There's a mutual benefit to it.
Correct. Right? And it becomes a lot more collaborative.
Yeah, it becomes a lot more collaborative. People respect each other's opinion much more, rather than me telling you what to do. You have your way of doing things, and I let you do that.
Correct. So like the other one is peer level. So if I have a problem in my product, I might just go to someone who has done it before in a different role. Different team.
Yeah.
So say I want to do some recommendation logic here. I would just ask a PM who has done it before in another area of the company, and I'll just get the learnings from him.
Yeah.
And apply. It's that fluid. Yeah. The knowledge transfer is very fluid in that way.
True. And I think that's something that I really enjoy in that startup, in this startup culture where there's a lot of constant learning, and you're really put into a place where you're not just stuck in one role. And even if you're already in particular role for a while, they actually support a lot of internal transfers.
They do, yes.
I mean, maybe that's just from Grab's perspective. Is it the same for your previous 3 experiences as well?
Yeah, actually, it's quite fluid. It's not as simple as that because you cannot just keep transferring around. There's a layer of procedure to go through, but in general, you can make that transition as quick as once a year if you want to. I think in startup environment, your managers are very open-minded.
Very open-minded. Oh, that's another culture. That's actually a very, very good point. A very open-minded people around you.
Yes,
pretty much.
Your managers is I find it quite. I haven't been a corporate, so I can't say much about it. But the managers I've met they really care about your development and growth.
Yes.
So if I've complained in the current role, I don't feel like I'm getting the growth I need.
Yeah.
They'll really encourage me to just change roles. And they'll support that actually.
Yeah, they'll support that. And they'll really see how I can help you to grow to where you want to be. Not just in this particular division or role or even company. Yes. They really support you as a person on where you want to be.
Correct, yes.
Right?
In general, what I found, they're a lot more... Maybe I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's the age, but I think in such a dynamic environment, everyone I think you attract very similar people in the sense that they are very growth mindset driven.
Yep.
So if you are a growth-minded individual, you will also want others to grow as well.
Yes.
And so they really do push everyone to just explore, try and error, figure things out, learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have that very unique, exciting DNA there as well.
True.
In these companies.
Yeah. That's actually I would say one of the top things that I truly enjoyed in the startup culture and company.
Yeah.
It really felt like a community where you support each other. You know, the learning as we mentioned, our potential growth, where we want to be. Like I have a one-on-one with my manager just to check in on things on like how's my motivation like, how's my well-being like, am I handling too much projects, am I feeling burnt out and all that.
Yeah.
You know, just to check up on me, you know, and non-project related, or if you want to talk about projects, that's fine, you know, maybe we can discuss about that. But there's a lot of that constant feedback loop where we're just communicating your thoughts and viewpoints. And they're open to feedback. They're not like, you know, trying to scold you or like saying like, oh no, you shouldn't do this, do that. There was honestly one particular incident that really honestly touched me. And this was actually when I first started. I started Grab as a trainee, right? As part of the SG United traineeship. So as part of a trainee, it's a 6 months program, right? Trainee is considered like an intern. I pretty much have an intern status in the company itself. Which coming from my previous role, which was an IT consultant, that was a full-time role, right? Going to an intern does felt like a step back in my career projection. So I say that was something that I felt a bit uncomfortable, just because of that title role itself. But the work and the people are amazing, and I just do not sure how do I express it. How do I like let my manager know? It's a bit an awkward topic to talk about, isn't it? Like if you were to sort of openly share to your manager about, you know, this sort of concern that you have, because first trainee doesn't really pay very well. And then at the same time, traineeship only lasts for 6 months, so you're very uncertain in terms of like what's gonna happen after the 6 months, right? And within like my 1 month in the company, I managed to grow really comfortable and to the point where, you know what, I really want to share my feelings. You know, I want to share how I feel about this, and I share it to my manager. I share it to my manager, and he took it really well. He really understood where I come from. Yeah. He also had a very similar backstory on his personal side that he also shared, and he said, you know what, this is a really unlucky situation. I mean, we are all definitely affected by the pandemic. And he definitely at that point of time, the only thing that he can do to get more people to get more headcount pretty much is through the traineeship, because there's not much budget to actually get more additional full-time role, right? And what he did was like, you know what, I can't promise you anything, but you know, I really want to say that he understand my feeling, and he want to fight for what he can to help me improve, to help me like, you know, get what I want, or to make me feel more comfortable within the team. And in the end, what he did was he will speak to, you know, whoever he knows, you know, and turns out after 3 weeks, I got converted. No, actually, the HR contacted me through Slack first. He's like, hey, Nikki, do you have a minute to talk? And I'm like, hey, okay. Then I see like, it was a HR role, right? So I checked the profile a bit, and then I called, and they said, your manager referred to me for, you know, to become full-time in this role. And I was like, I don't know, I really cannot.
You felt so appreciated by your managers.
Yeah, it really does. And I know it seems like a very simple, maybe a favor. Sorry. Maybe, no, it's good. Maybe it felt like maybe for some people it's like, oh yeah, you got converted from trainee to full-time, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that really meant a lot, because firstly, he really took my feelings into account.
Yeah.
And that means he really cared about me. And he didn't just take at first what I thought he would do is maybe secure a full-time position at the end of the program after my 6 months.
So he went above and beyond.
But he really did went above.
Nice.
And that's where like it really goes beyond my expectations. And within 3 weeks, I got contact, and we got converted in the next month. Like and the next month, I think just on the mid-Feb itself. So we were talking between end of Jan, and we said, you know what, we can convert it. If we can get all the contracts signed and everything, we can get you converted within mid-Feb.
So you were expecting to be in this role for 6 months, but ended up being just 2 months full time.
December, January, 2 months and a half. And then I got converted, and then I was like, wow, like, I mean, I really was very delighted, and I really appreciate my manager for doing that. And I think that really shows how open the culture is, because, and open and caring and supportive.